Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and welcome back to Grand Tactician Civil War. This is episode number 2. Last time we were finishing up that first episode with our first battle of the campaign. This is the 1862 Union campaign in this brand new strategy game, which is releasing this Friday. The battle we had was this one. It is between an outnumbered Union force. They called it Battle of Pea Ridge. The total number of Union forces was supposed to be 18,000 versus 17,000 Confederacy. However, 9,000 of those 18,000 that were supposed to be under my command, I had just added them in the previous 24 hours to the unit. None of them had reached the unit yet. So, only 9,000 were up against the 17,000 Confederates. Result of the battle, we stayed up on that ridge. We fired down upon them. In the episode, we saw the first 2 days of the battle. The battle ended up going on for 4 days. On day 3, my cavalry unit, which had been kind of going around and around and around, well, I found that a couple of their artillery units were now isolated. They'd been left behind by all their infantry and their cavalry units. So I attacked, wiped them out, wiped out 100% of their artillery. But my cavalry unit, was caught behind the lines, couldn't get a new command to them. They didn't take initiative, they didn't pull back, and so they got trapped. So I lost 600 cavalry. By the end of the battle, I lost 1,000 men. So 400 infantry plus the 600 cavalry. So 1,000 losses, okay. That's not great. But considering we were vastly outnumbered, it was 17,500 to just like 8,500, 9,000. We lost 1,000 of those, but we inflicted 4,000 losses, and 100% of their artillery was wiped out. So, minor victory, good start. That happened over days 3 and then 4 was when the real battle portion took place. So we do have other things going on. It looks like First Corps here of the Army of Mississippi is pushing towards either the Army of the Ohio or Tennessee. One can help the other. Our 7th Division has a couple new brigades on the way to join them, so I'm definitely not going to advance there. Jackson's Corps has started to push west, away from Winchester and Harper's Ferry, towards Grafton. My 5th Corps is moving in towards Winchester, so we're either going to cut Jackson off or engage him there, as we will have him outnumbered like 2-1. Meanwhile, I'm sending the other 4 corps of the Army of the Potomac. I am sending all of them down to the Army of Virginia. They have not made that move yet, and the Army of Virginia has now begun the siege on Fort Washington, so we've got to watch out for that move, and it is definitely time to counter this. Let's see if they still have orders. Yes, okay. So even though the battle took 4 days, looks like on the main battle map things have not changed, and that's good, because I was worried that over 4 days there would have been some drastic differences on what was going on in that real world map. Army of Virginia is still on the move. It looks like they are pushing for Alexandria. They haven't taken it yet because it looks like Fort Washington is at the moment offering protection to that. So we're going to speed things up just a little bit, and let's see if these units begin to move. Looks like our Army of the Potomac headquarters is the first one to move out. The others have not received their orders. So maybe, just maybe, we need to have the There we go. Have them stop can they now get the orders out for the other units? They have joined the fight. They've gotten close enough now. Jackson Corps sweeping around behind us. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Looky here. No. Cancel. You know what? Go forward. They did not get past 5th Corps. 5th Corps has picked up Jackson's Corps. So we have a battle here. This would be a perfect one to join. I think we actually have a significant advantage this time. 69 guns, 17,000 troops to 7,200 under Jackson. Yes, Stonewall Jackson with a more than 2-to-1 advantage. Let's go ahead and join the assault. By the way, let me know in the comments below what you think about a new setup thing that just went into effect now. This episode is the very first recording that I have done since making this change. The change being, I have the same microphone that I had before, but the setup is drastically different. I got a boom arm for it, so it is attached to a microphone stand that puts it up right near my mouth. I've got windscreens and things like that with it. I've had to significantly lower the volume, as instead of being placed 2.5 feet away from me, down on the table next to me, it's now just a few inches away from my mouth. So hopefully things are going to be a lot clearer with that, and with that lower volume, it shouldn't be picking up any background noise of any kind, including my quite loud computer, as it's got a beast of a fan in there to keep it from overheating. Well, anyway, let's get to the battle. So it looks like they're saying he's got about 7,017 guns, so we've got him significantly outnumbered here, which is exciting. Confederates, they've got some trees to protect them, and there you go. The first shots are fired by the Confederate artillery. Our artillery is also approaching where they need to be right now. Gonna get these guys into a more protected position. You would take a road that I'm okay with you taking. We're already in that position, barely coming under fire, so that's okay. My artillery in the center, if they suddenly advance, that could be a problem. It looks like they're starting to shift. They're trying to push towards the flank, but that could be because they see the bulk of our forces here. They probably have not seen our forces down here. These guys are going to be pretty wide, but they're just going to hold the flank. If an attack comes their way, then they'll step out from their cover to meet it. Same with this brigade. First brigade moving into their well-protected position. And then we'll see if our artillery can get the job done for us. Let's see if you can take a better viewpoint as to what's going on. Can you know, take cover here? Do I need to dismount? Okay, put him here by this road. Should have a good vantage point from there. Alright, Sullivan is definitely one who could move out. We could actually put him all the way out here on the edge of the flank. Spot I do like. Spread him out a little bit. And that gives me a pretty significant advantage. Okay, we're starting to see movement. Speed it up a little bit, find out where to. Okay, they are withdrawing from the position a little bit, and they're pushing in towards this flank where we do have cover. Here is that artillery. Okay, let's step up to those woods. They're moving our way, and that also means we need some help up here. Let's bring a brigade from both to cover that. That unit, wow, they moved quick. I think maybe they're on the move, so they're limbered up. I think I'm gonna try to come out to meet them or come forward a bit. Let's bring the cavalry up for a fight just in case, maybe right up the road. That way they can move quicker. All right, there we go. First shots being fired on these guys, but that's the artillery who's already there. But I think artillery is going to inflict some pretty heavy damage if, and depending on how many of them have a good look at these guys. We might have to move this artillery out here into the open before long if they're going to be effective. Didn't I give you orders? I thought I gave you orders to step out. This is only artillery out here, but there's enough units around that that's not going to be a good position for them. These guys are getting fired on, so go ahead and lie down there. Alright, it's time for us to come up on this flank. We're going to bring both of these units. One will be flanking and under cover. We're also going to bring up our cav. I don't know if we want to come from behind. Okay, this artillery is probably not of any use right now. Let's bring them out here. So orders for this western flank. It's going to take just a little bit. Shields is a little behind where they're at. But I think those orders are on their way. Yeah, there you go. The artillery's already moving. Second Brigade, 13 casualties. They're the ones taking all the artillery fire, the brunt of it, which is not ideal. However, their losses are fairly minimal. Ooh, laying down, you can't see. Okay, go ahead and stand up. Stand up. You could have done it from that position, you know? Stand up. You guys need to be firing. 3rd Brigade is firing, so from their laid position, they've taken 35 casualties. 1st Brigade. Oof, I don't know. Why don't you go ahead? Come on. I want you to fire on these guys, not... That's Jackson right there. If only we could just take Jackson. You know what? I want my cavalry to take a line. I want them to go after the artillery from behind. Firing. How's that artillery movement going? Oh, they're in the woods. It does say they're firing, so... Now, once the cavalry comes and starts shooting at the artillery from behind, we'll see how they respond. I'll probably pull out 2nd Brigade from their position at that point. 3rd Brigade had everybody firing on them, so while these other 2 brigades were a little slow to react, that's unfortunate. Come on guys, let's go, let's go. Gotta get up there, support them. This is my problem at the moment, is we're a little disorganized. I only had 2 brigades in position. Oh, that poor building just crashed down. Artillery fire brought it down. They're trying to fire on these guys. It's sad that our guys broke first. Still have a significant advantage, and it's indecisive right now, but we're on that verge of turning it up. Okay. Cavalry not quite taking the orders I gave them. Constant issue here. Well, not quite moving where you want them to. Okay, there we go. 2nd Brigade finally coming forward. Losses are really mounting for these groups in the middle. Again, my number advantage is significant. And now they're worried about being flanked. There you go, these guys are freaking out here. I could see all 3 of these collapsing momentarily. Scott's Brigade taking heavy casualties right now. This is nice. I'm getting these guys from both directions. Cavalry's still not coming up properly. There they go. The artillery is firing. Not back here though. That's okay. That's okay. Got that center covered. We're not firing on those guys. Heavy losses. But they are really coming after my 2nd Brigade pretty hard right now. But only 27 casualties out of 2,300. And we're really gaining an advantage on these other brigades at the moment. As soon as they start to break, support will come up and help with 2nd Brigade. who, like I said, is still doing just fine at the moment. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Why is our morale so weak? We are in a major advantage right now. We've got them pinned in, nowhere to go, inflicting heavy losses on a group that is significantly weaker than us. And for the second time, I've had a brigade withdraw and pull back with minor losses and nothing more. There goes another brigade falling back. Jackson's artillery starting to take heavy losses, have turned the other way, which does mean I want to bring these guys out. About to here. That's a bad sign for me that this whole flank fell with so few losses. We've got their artillery, cavalry inflicting damage. Burke's brigade is here though. That could be a problem for me, for my cav. But they're at least under cover. Orders to them are taking a long time as far away as they are. Okay, finally, 3rd Brigade. Only 100 losses, but they're still unstable. This is the 3rd Brigade here. Let's bring them out with the rest. Let's make this our front line. In order. 1st Brigade, right there with their commander. They're still panicked. See, 2nd Brigade here, barely any losses, 21. Most of that was from artillery, but we're about to walk right up on their artillery. If our cav can hold out, we can inflict some heavy losses there. 2nd Brigade taking the brunt of the attack. 200 losses now. They're okay. You guys looking. Ammunition. Okay, still firing. Are we still firing? Dang, Scott's brigade. Okay, a couple guys firing. I don't know why the others are not. Our poor training is really impacting us at the moment, though. Come on, Abercrombie. Start firing, buddy. Start firing. Let's go. Finally, a Confederate brigade, Scott's brigade, retreats with something like 50% casualties, or more by this point. Meanwhile, Abercrombie, these guys have turned to face them and they're starting to fire on them. And Abercrombie still has not opened fire even though they are right there in range. Now they are freaking out. They're engaged, but they're not doing anything. They're not firing. They're cut off. Really? You call that cut off? You just... so weak. So weak. Come on, 1st Division. Step up. Step up. Meanwhile, 40 more casualties here. Cavalry still firing. Jackson's artillery has broken. We're up to major victory status now. Now that their units are starting to break. looking now like a rear guard for the Confederates, is just taking heavy punishment at this point from our units that remain on the field. Second Brigade took quite the beating, 300 losses, but bring them forward. Cavalry return to the rear. I wonder if I should get them to try to chase down retreating units, which is just about everybody now. Just go ahead and close up that other flank. Stonewall Brigade is broken and running. No Stonewall today. Last full brigade is breaking. Connor's brigade was slowly retreating. They're taking heavy fire from all sides, and they break as well. This battle will be over in a moment. My total losses amount to under 1,000. 986 lost. 181 of that cavalry, who fought bravely and really helped us turn the tide of that by eliminating the threat of their artillery. 800 losses in infantry. But for Jackson, more than 50% wiped out. 4,700 out of 7,500. Their entire artillery, 2 brigades wiped clean. 4,300 of the 7,000 infantry killed. Just 350 of their cavalry remain. They are down to under a strength of 3,000. This single corps can easily finish them off now with 16,500 themselves. Jackson does not stand a chance. Additional news shows that Cold Harbor, that small peninsula that the Virginia Army is helping defend with, they hang on, they defeat the attacking forces, and that adds to the glory of what's going on here, and that's this group. So Jackson's corps running away to the south along the Shenandoah Valley. Hill's corps has come up to support. See, Jackson's corps continues to move further away. Right now, 3rd Corps on the move. I don't know what happened to Lee. I've lost track of where Lee is. Army of the Peninsula, after losing their fight, coming up. Here comes Lee's corps, or Hill's corps. 5th Corps I'm going to use to hold this flank. I'm going to send them a little further forward and have them entrenched there, where that railroad is. French invasion. Napoleon III to conquer Mexico. So France is invading Mexico here early in this fight. 7th Division not only hanging on, but the Army of the Tennessee has retreated. So let's send 7th Division down to Knoxville. And here is the incoming Army of the Mississippi. Army of Tennessee now engaged. I'm going to send over support. Hill's Corps already fleeing in panic. Alright folks, well, we're making significant progress, other than the fact that I don't know where Robert E. Lee has gone. So he is missing at the moment. Jackson has retreated all the way to Richmond. We're going to have to keep an eye out for where they might be and begin our advance into Virginia. Seems to be the logical move from here. But that is going to do it for this second episode to give this chance a real a boost, a shot at growing and being one of the premier Grand Tactician Civil War series out there, especially on the longevity side of it. Do be sure to hit that like button. Also, if you have liked what you've seen, go ahead and hit subscribe, and I'll have much more great content to come. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.